Hey everyone. Right, let's just address the elephant in the room. Fast X, I may get quite a hate for this, but I absolutely did not like this film. And there's reasons for it. Reason why I'm not doing an actual review or danger review on this. This deserves to be a full-on rant. So spoiler warning for anyone who wants to go and see this. Watch this video at your own risk. If you don't want to be spoiled, click away and watch something else. But the ones who have seen the film, you can listen to my opinion here. So the film basically did not live up to the expectations I was hoping. Apart from one thing, and that was the villain choice. Jason Momoa as Dante. I thought he put on a really good performance. He was basically a better villain from the last one. Because, like, the other one, if I remembered, John Cena, but obviously he got turned from villain to at the end, from a villain to realizing it's actually the brother of Dom Toretto. And with this one, they make it so cringy. They make, so, like, I don't know what was the right, I don't know what was going on with the writing in particular, but there was certain scenes which were so cringy, and there were a few things over the top. There was so many things over the top, guys, but I think what made it worse, right, is that there were quite a few things I did not like. The only thing, two things actually. Obviously, Jason Momoa was great. The good thing was it wasn't like over the top with its action. Like, there were, there was a few things that rolled my eyes from, like the big bomb in the beginning. Like, I felt that was a bit silly. And then obviously, like, the whole film is basically like they're wanted, and most of the film you have basically there's a lot of plot holes. Like, apparently Letty is pregnant, but what makes it weird is she gets captured, and obviously, like, she ends up having to team up with that evil other villain that they introduced back, I think, in 8, I think. Like, the Fate of the Furious, that villain. Yeah, she's back in the 10th as well, but not as much as a villain, but still is a villain, but just not taken serious this time around. But the problem is, if she's pregnant, why is she fighting her halfway through the film if she's pregnant? I do not get my head around that. The other part I disliked the most was the other stuff concerning the parts on the story in general. One point halfway through, because, like, the story of the film is, like, obviously, like, Dante, Jason Momoa is trying to vow, like, suffering from Dom, him to lose his family, so he kind of, because he's built on that villain role where he goes really dark, he goes after the people that others love and all that, and, basically rip them off. But so this is basically the whole premise of the film is them trying to survive from this guy, and what they try to do, they go to Jason Statham, they go to this and that, and the thing is, like, they're in one country, then they go to another part of the world that quick. They never address how they get there that quick. They never address, time and difference in the film. Like, I don't get it. Like, there's one part there's like they're in Rome and then they're in London, and it's all over the place. Like, because the pacing's too quick from time to time. But what I probably hated the most was the way how they handled the cliffhanger. Like, it's pretty predictable. Because you knew from the beginning that the police guy who was helping Dom, you just knew that he was also behind a few other stuff, and then it shows in the end that he uses a rocket launcher, shoots down that giant plane that Dom's friends and families are in. But obviously, they leave it at that. And the worst part was, right, so it cuts to that, we don't get a conclusion to what happened there. And then it goes back to Letty and that evil other villain. And then you see the whole submarine come up. And this is where have faith in this franchise anymore. Is why bring back Gal Gadot? Bear with me how I say it. How can they bring back that character? She basically was already gone from the other film, a few films back. And I do not see why they thought it was a good idea. Because I think that's stupid. Because the way they're doing it is not right. They didn't explain it. She pops in there as a cameo and that's it. And then the credits roll. Don't get me started on the other stuff in the film. The only thing, obviously I already got spoiled, from TikTok. I didn't bother with the post-credit scene to watch at the end after the cinema. But obviously, if you don't know, The Rock's back. And he's going to be in the next one without a doubt. Because apparently he was responsible for like Dante's dad in the beginning. And it's just getting at this point where I'm losing faith in the Fast and Furious franchise. I'll probably get hate for this, but I absolutely dislike this film. Because it was so out of place. Like, I thought the other one was alright. Like, it didn't go over the top with, like, part of its story. Because the other one was more like a family type of thing. This one was more like a villain arc of two. Like, you have two main villains in this film. Two. And it gets worse because they bring in this new character. Well, not new character, but apparently there was a character that was referenced in another film. I do not know where, which I don't even remember at this point, but they bring this character in, and then they do it in the worst way possible. So, like, and also Brie Larson's in this. There was no purpose of her in the film. Because apparently she already knew where Dom was, helps him, gets sniped, and that's all we get. It was the worst character development, in my honest opinion, because, like, we only see, like, 15, 20-minute screen time, I think, had of her. I can't remember exact, but the screen time she had was alright, but there was not enough character development for her. And then they snipe her. Like, they snipe her, and the worst part is they treat Vin Diesel or Dom Toretto as like he's bulletproof, as if he can't be. As if, they're treating Dom Toretto like he can't be whatsoever. And it's stupid. Because there's a part of the film where he lifts the car in one-handed. Like, obviously there's no way he can lift the car one-handed. And he does it. Like I said in the screen in my head, is that they're treating him like Superman at this point. Like first it's that, and then he somehow manages to pull down the two helicopters in his Dodge. And he defines the laws of gravity. And it's stupid. This is what I don't get with over-the-top action with Fast and Furious. It's that they don't make it realistic. Like, they don't make it as realistic now. And I don't know if this is confirmed, but one of the other characters mentions that, like, I just went back in time. And if they're going down that route in the next ones, I'm not going to see the next ones if they try and make it like that. Because time travel just won't work. Because it just doesn't fit, and it will not succeed to the expectations. But yeah, it was absolutely not my time. I can't speak today. Guys, because obviously it's been nice and sunny. But other than that, like, I hate the film so much. Absolute garbage. Like, I see they try to put effort in the acting, like they try to make Vin Diesel like put out so much emotion as if you want to feel bad for the guy. Like, he's the only character in the entire film that you get like this massive like emotional parts, like over the top acting that he does, and I thought some worked, but then it kind of like got too silly again. Like, it got too serious. And don't get me started with John Cena. Don't get me wrong, John Cena felt better in this, apart from what they did to him in this. Like, they straight up like him off in the end, but I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that he's actually gone. Because, like, out of most of the films, someone always comes back. I do not get it. Like, Han came back from the other one, and now the other one, his girlfriend's back in this, only to be appeared in the end, and then the credits roll. Like, you can't keep doing this, Universal. You can't. You need to do better storytelling. You need to make the Fast and Furious a bit more sense. Because the 3-parter's not going to do it for me. Or even the spin-offs. Because there'll be everyone who will agree on me on this, that we're not going to see these films coming out thinking they're going to be a masterpiece. Because no, they haven't been for like a long time. Not for a long time, ever since Paul Walker was gone from Fast 7. Because honestly, I thought they should have ended it on that one for him. Because I know it's something I will never, like, think to talk about on YouTube here. But, like, I felt like they should have stopped making the Fast and Furious films when they reached 7. Because, like, as much as it pains to say, but, like, Vin Diesel, like, again, like, obviously I'll watch, like, what he said about legacy and keep the franchise going. My personal opinion, they should have ended at 7. Because, like, yeah, I understand the other stuff that went on, you know, all the trauma and everything. But at the end of the day, like, you had to end it at 7. There was not needed to do an 8, 9, and 10. And beyond. But yeah. But other than that, this was just, like, one of the things I wanted to address and talk about. Like, obviously, this is like a rant. I absolutely hated it. may feel like a review to you, but I think this is a fun rant. Like, I'm actually annoyed with the film. I'm annoyed with how the story unfolded, how it is right now, but all analysis is like,